Geekbreakers, and welcome to a very special installment of Geekbreak. I'm here with Hayley.
They're all special.
They are all special.
I get to spend time with this guy.
You.
Yeah, me.
We are going to break down for you in this Geekbreak installment Guardians of the Galaxy. Hayley's seen it 4 times.
Okay, I didn't pay for all of them.
Hey, I'm jealous. I wish I had the time and money to see it 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, the first couple times you see it for enjoyment, and then you start to slowly notice things that kind of leave you with this face like,
We are going to get into the nitty-gritty, the cock and balls, as Hayley likes to say.
Because you know me, I love cock and balls.
First, we should say this is going to be full of spoilers, so if you've not yet seen the movie, you're not going to want to watch this video right now. Save this video, come back to it later, after you've seen the movie, and then come back, watch this video, and see what we think about it. See if you agree with us or don't agree.
So quick shout out to Robin Morton for assisting us in production today. Thank you so much. Well appreciated, and it's helped us a lot. And the next thing I wanted to just throw out there, we have a really cool poster of Rocket Raccoon, and...
It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
She wants to steal it, so...
You know what? I may have already, and you wouldn't know, because I am just as good a thief as Star-Lord. We're gonna post it on Facebook, and then we'd like you to share the link, and then you'll be entered to win the poster.
It's that simple. Share it on Facebook, and that's how you win. That said, let's dive into the balls and cock of this.
Cock and balls.
Yes. You just love saying cock and balls.
I love cock and balls.
You know who's really cocky in this movie? Is Peter Quill, Star-Lord, our hero, the main character, our protagonist, and our connection to, our human connection to the film, because he is essentially the most human character in the movie, so he's the character that
Even though he's half human.
Right. Even though he's half human, but we don't find out about that until the very end, but he, for all intents and purposes, he is the human connection that we're supposed to identify with. He gets taken in the very beginning of the movie as a small child. His mother is dying of, I guess it's cancer.
I think it's cancer.
She's dying, and she gives him this gift, and he runs outside, and aliens come and swoop him up. Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, hands down, I think we both agree, is one of the best things about this movie.
He killed it. They couldn't have been more spot on with the casting for Star-Lord. I mean, he was quick. He was awesome. I'm pretty sure all those little one-liners in there were things that he threw in there just for shits and gigs.
His comedic timing is fantastic.
It's perfect.
It's great. I mean, I love the whole conversation that he has with Gamora, I believe, about
music.
About music and dance and how important that is. These are aliens, but they're also warriors. The entire group of them that have come together are all killers. They're all cold-blooded warriors. And here's Peter, who's the furthest thing removed from that because of being human.
Right.
And because of his humor and his heart and his love of music, which the music to the film was interwoven so well.
Perfect with the times. I loved the soundtrack. Loved every minute of it.
The music itself was a character as well.
Oh my god, the bit with him dancing through the ruins, wasn't that priceless?
Yeah, and that was one of the first scenes
that was
we get with him.
the best thing ever.
That was cool. It was a little dance, and he's, mid-heist, he's just dancing around.
It just kind of that's the human aspect, though. He doesn't give a He's just there to party. Like I said, I think that some of his little lines, the little one-liners, like, there's a little pee coming out of me right now. I swear to God, he improvised
you really have
those.
seen this movie 4 times.
Dude, he so totally improvised all those little lines. I'm pretty sure they didn't script that in there. He just, said it with a straight face, and it worked, but, everybody cracked up the first time.
His deadpan delivery is just fantastic.
Yeah, Parks and Rec will tell you that much. I really loved it. I think that they couldn't have been more spot on with their casting.
And I love the risks that Marvel Studios took in general by making this film. Marvel took a huge risk on this property because, I mean, these aren't even B-list characters. These are C and D-list characters that barely anybody knows of, and they've turned Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord into household names. I mean...
Oh, dude, Rocket was amazing.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Absolutely.
Well, I will try to contain myself.
But the risk that Marvel took, not only in the writing of this film, but the casting of some of its actors, and I think Chris Pratt was a huge risk, but it was a huge payoff because it worked. It really, really worked.
Yeah, you know who else was kind of a risk for me at first? I honestly thought Bradley Cooper was a big risk as Rocket because I wasn't sure what he was going to do, and I was like, oh, great, we got the jerk-off from Alias, great.
But what we got from Bradley Cooper as Rocket
right?
was
I couldn't even recognize him.
I felt like he created a character. And I know we talked earlier that I'm not really sure if it was the studio asking him to do that or if that was something he just decided to do on his own.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I really got kind of a Dirty Harry influence in the way he was talking. Tiny bit of, Midnight Cowboys. Tiny bit.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good. I didn't really hear Bradley Cooper in it. I was just like, oh, okay, cool, Rocket. I didn't really make the connection until later, but I thought he did a great job. I also thought the CGI for Rocket and Groot too.
Right.
Dude, it was great. I was worried that they were going to make him look way too cartoony, and then, they blow me away when I see the trailer, and I'm like, oh, shit.
I think they handled the CGI incredibly well in the film. It felt tangible. I think a lot of times we see CGI movies, Jar Jar Binks, King Kong. Even for me, I'm not a huge fan of Gollum from the Lord of the Rings movies. All the CGI to me feels too...
obvious?
It just feels too, fake, too ethereal. I really felt like I was watching puppeteering happening, even though it was CGI, and I thought that was really cool because too often we see so many movies where the CGI just is all over the place and it just looks awful. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I think what helped was the banter between like Rocket and Star-Lord. Like the lines, the writing was so sharp, the dialogue was just quick, and the actors delivered. And I think it was so seamless that you forget that you're watching CGI. You really do feel like you're watching these characters in the same space.
Yeah, I totally got that vibe. And I'm typically the person that goes to a movie and I point out all the technical flaws, like, oh, that makeup doesn't work, or that is super fake CGI or something like that. I'm the person that does that, and I honestly didn't have any complaints with the visual effects on this film.
No, and not just the characters. The space battles were cool.
Dude, yes. The Necrocrafts.
The prison scene was fantastic. I think that was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie was the prison.
And the breakout?
That was so cool. Yeah, breakout was great.
We
talked a little bit about Rocket, but let's talk about the other CGI character. The other elephant in the room, or tree in the room, so to speak. Groot was a huge reason why I think so many people are in love with that movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I got from Groot is I kind of got a vibe like another one of Vin Diesel's voiceover roles, the Iron Giant.
Oh, right.
I loved that film, and I got similar elements of that in Groot, and I really liked that because even though the character obviously isn't human, you still relate on a small level because there's still that basic emotion, like, Rocket calls him out on a bunch of the stupid shit. And he's like, he gets embarrassed. He's like, I wasn't drinking from that fountain. You can't prove that. Or some, that. Groot, I think Groot stole the show.
He did. And I actually really appreciate that we did not have like an origin story movie where no, these characters are thrown in the situation and they have to react, and the movie just got to be. We didn't have to waste, a whole movie of exposition to figure out the origin story of these characters. No, they're just, they're there.
I mean, they changed Peter Quill's storyline a little bit, but I kind of took that with a grain of salt because they still alluded to his lineage not being full human.
Yeah.
And they left more for us to explore in future films, which was great.
So they did just a great job just creating a movie that allowed the audience to have fun and just go on this ride along with these characters, and that was great.
So, I mean, the film was great. Even if you aren't a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, you'll probably love the film. But if you're familiar with the storyline and the characters, you might feel a tiny bit cheated because there are some things that did bother me.
Well, I don't think that you really need to even understand the characters and their background in the comics to feel cheated. You just have to be an intelligent person to feel cheated.
Ouch. Okay.
No,
well,
I am tired of many of these comic book movies. I'm throwing, Marvel in this as well. It's not just Fox, Sony. The flat, boring characters, mostly female roles and their villains. I'm tired, and that was my biggest complaint with the movie. And I know you felt the same.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
really
though, because when I read the comics, Gamora in the comics is the most dangerous woman in the universe. I mean, I got a snippet of that in the film. I got a snippet of, oh, she just broke that dude's arm with, no effort. She's a scary bitch. Gamora is a scary bitch. She's terrifying. You don't, I didn't get much of that in the film. I got mostly...
But even you don't even need to know this in the comic book. You just go to the movie and see this is a flatly written female character that exists for no other reason than be a love interest to our hero. And you completely rob a female character from any sense of worth on screen, holding her own as a strong female role the moment you put her in a situation to be somebody's love interest, because that takes complete power away from her, and she just becomes a instrument to the script. All the other characters had a little more depth. Even Nebula had more depth, I felt, than Gamora.
And
but I still felt she was
a lot of the stuff with Nebula they fudged because, Nebula isn't even related to Thanos. She's not a daughter adopted or anything. When she claims this history and this connection with Thanos in the comics, but really she's just a basic bitch.
But that's another thing, with Peter Quill. I think that liberty they took there is fine. It doesn't augment the story any. It would just be great if they were written. It just kind of gave her
an excuse to be there, and I mean, they did a great job with the makeup.
Visually, yeah, she looked great.
She looked awesome, and I mean, Karen did a great job. I still kind of didn't really get much out of her Gamora. Even though she was cool to see on film, I didn't really get much out of it.
And this seems to be a running theme with female characters in Marvel's movies. I mean, I think they're finally stepping their game up with Black Widow. It seems progressively her character's getting better and better after each appearance that she has on screen.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're not able to hold down a strong female role. And everybody's talking. I mean, Sony just announced that they're going to do a female-driven character movie from Spider-Man's mythos. I don't know if it's going to be Black Cat or Spider-Woman. I guarantee you Sony's going to screw it up. But at least they're going forward with a title character, female role in the lead, a strong female lead. And on the same line as their female characters, something that I see happening time and time again in comic movies.
The villains, dude!
Yes.
The villains are always, they start off kind of badass. I know when they originally teased Thanos, I was like, oh, things are gonna get real.
Exactly.
And then they show Thanos and Guardians of the Galaxy just sitting there,
Well, we'll get to Thanos and say, I want to talk about Ronin first, because Ronin is just a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a carbon copy of every, just movie villain who wants to blow up a planet or the universe because he's got some hard-on for vengeance. Because I didn't even really understand in the film, Hard-On for Vengeance.
Yeah.
It'd be a great title for a movie. Hard-On for Vengeance. And I did not understand. I mean, I know who Ronin is in the comics. He is basically, the main general of the Kree army, and he is, judged during execution to go out to worlds and decide if the world is ripe for conquering or not. For the Kree Empire, which that would have been fine. I mean, at least then I can understand what his motivation is. He's a general serving his species.
They very loosely established that when they introduced Ronin, they kind of alluded to it, but they didn't really.
So he's just really pissed off. He wants to destroy this planet.
That's all you get. He's just a really pissed off guy.
He's agreed to get this orb, which contains one of the Infinity Stones, which Thanos is mad for, and Thanos has agreed to slaughter the planet that he wants if he acquires the orb from him. But big surprise, what does he do? He just keeps the orb for himself and decides he's going to do the destruction.
Thanos?
But I can't really rally for the heroes fighting him because I just don't really feel any...
What was the point of him...
Any real severity into the threats that he's laid, because I don't see him as...
Is that big of a threat?
As that big of a threat.
Yeah.
More of just like a paper mache, a pinata of a villain. I mean, at least Loki. I mean, Loki was this character.
Loki is cunning as I mean, he's not the most powerful.
No,
but he is wicked and cunning.
But they established from the first Thor movie that there's something like there's real motivation behind what he's doing. It's jealousy. It's sibling jealousy. It's very Shakespearean.
Yeah.
It's very complex and allows us to kind of understand where he's coming from. Because remember, what makes a villain so great is that they don't think what they're doing is evil. And
in their eyes, it's justified. And so, I mean, like I said, they kind of loosely put it out there that, oh, you guys, you are an abomination. You go against everything my people believe in. But it just kind of
there was a vengeance thing. Like, there was something about, like, these people did this to his planet.
Yeah, and they didn't.
So flat. The end of the movie is the same ending to, like, Thor 2. It's the same
pretty much
movie.
And you're not the first person to say that, by the way.
I'm not.
Shout out to Patrick, because I know you said that to me, like, last week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you did. He's like, it's the same Thor 2.
It is. And so it's upsetting to see because you could have a villain with so much complexity and terror. We've seen it in Loki.
Oh, yeah.
But instead we get this guy smashing things. They tease us Thanos. And Thanos in the comics is an incredibly complex villain. Sometimes he's not even a villain.
He's scary. Thanos is the big bad mamma jamma you don't want to with. And they just don't really give that off in the movie.
Oh, exactly. But what's great about him is he's also complex. He's in love with the personification of death. Death in Marvel Comics is actually a goddess who rules over the realm of the dead, and he loves her. He is completely madly in love with her. And so every action that he does is basically in worship of death. And so that's a really complex thing to have your villain just be so. That's why when you saw Avengers at the end of the credits, there's that little, when Thanos gets introduced and the general is like, to try to conquer Earth is to court death. To date death. And, like, Thanos has this, like, wicked little grin, and that was like, oh, shit.
When they set Thanos up, I was like, oh, damn, things are gonna get real. And then, I feel like Ronan was kind of a plot device to stall.
Right.
Because they're gonna, since all the films are surrounding the concept of Infinity Stones, they're gonna bring in the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos soon. And that's obvious, but at the same time, like, give us a little, throw us a bone here. Don't just be like, oh, here's Thanos.
It's cool if you want to distance us, but give us some reason as to why Thanos isn't doing this himself. Because in comics,
he does himself.
Yeah,
because he can.
There's a prequel to the Infinity Gauntlet called Thanos Quest. Does Thanos send off lackeys to go get the Infinity Stones? No.
Nope.
Thanos goes out, takes what he wants.
You want something done right? Do it yourself.
And that's what was so ridiculous when Ronan double crosses him. Thanos is, even without the Infinity Gauntlet, he's incredibly powerful, incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think he'd see that coming? I'm going to go send this guy out who I know is hell-bent on me killing his planet. I'm going to have him get for me one of the most powerful objects in the entire universe.
Right.
And I'm going to expect him just to hand it over to me and not double-cross. Come on.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I call bullshit movie. Call bullshit. That just seemed completely unfitting with who the character of Thanos is, and I think that's the thing that pissed me off the most. Why does he need lackeys? He doesn't.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Lastly, end credits. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Stay until the end credits. We've said they're spoilers, so obviously you did hopefully stay for the end credits.
Well, any Marvel movie, there's going to be a post-credit scene. If you don't know that by now, then oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, but...
No, really.
No.
What is wrong with you?
I'm not kidding. No, really. It's like a common thing, though, with all Marvel movies.
So
like,
Howard the Duck.
Right?
Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck.
Dude,
how random is that? It was cool. Everyone's speculating, oh, he's going to get his own movie. I know, no. He's not getting his own movie, but you know what? If he pops up here and there in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, that would be pretty funny.
You know, they should probably put Cosmo more in the film, since Cosmo is actually a little bit bigger of a part.
That's the dog.
Yeah, the dog. The Russian dog, the cosmonaut dog.
So Howard the Duck, it was a real delight to see. I mean, I laughed. I mean, it was so great.
Dude, right?
It was so upsetting to hear some people be like,
what the
why is it Donald Duck in the movie? Oh, it's because Disney owns that. Like,
no, it's
idiot!
not Donald the Duck, though.
Idiot! It's not Donald the Duck. It's Howard the Duck.
So just a quick reminder, we do have that super awesome Rocket Raccoon poster, and if you want to win it, we're going to post the video on Facebook, and all you have to do is share it out. That being said, I would love it if you left a comment, but basically we're going to need two things. We're going to need you to share it out, and, you know, comments optional, but I also need one final thing. I need this guy's contacts. You know, and possibly that watch. No. Before you think I'm being crazy here, I need it. It's, you know, it's important to me. Thanks again for watching Geekbreak Boredom Breakers.
Absolutely. I'm Eric.
I'm Hayley.
Next round's on me.
And I'll see you next time.
You will. You really, really will.